Gotta see if this is working before we start everything. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Alright. Everything seems to be working, and I would imagine, and I think, no, I know. ROH TV review, episode number 141. We're on the road to Final Battle 2025. I will fully admit, nothing on this episode really helped the build of Final Battle 2025, but I'm not going to complain because I kind of expected that, and we got announcements last week, so it was good to get that then. I will say this, 2 small notes before we get to the ROH TV review, none of which even really mattered to ROH. Thing 1, I mentioned it in a video this week, that I went on an escapade to acquire the Swerve Strickland Target exclusive action figure. And I was unable to do that in person at Target. And then literally the next morning that I wake up, it ended up getting uploaded to the Target app, and I ordered it. I now am the owner of the Full Gear 2023 Target exclusive Swerve Strickland action figure. So that is why you see Swerve in our glory here, kind of celebrating that. Thing 2, and this is more important. Is it? Maybe. I spent my Thursday night watching the live episode of Impact, TNA Impact, because for the past month, post Bound for Glory, all of the episodes have been filler episodes, best of episodes, nothing to progress what happened after Bound for Glory, which I found and find kinda ridiculous and bullcrap. So I was like, you know what? They finally are delivering on a live episode, and from when I watched, sucked. I thought it sucked. It was mainly promos and effing commercials. If you're there live, you at least got to see something to end the show. Did you like it? I don't know. But by the time that happened, I had already cut it off. I was not a fan of this live episode of Impact. And then I go on Twitter/X a little bit later, and I see a graphic that says Frankie Kazarian is the new TNA World Champion. And I was like, this has to be fake. What the hell is this? Now, I will say this. I like Frankie Kazarian. I'm going to put over his match, TNA Genesis 2007 Fight for Your Right tournament final ladder match against Christian Cage. A match, I won't say it's his best match of his career, but if you were to ask me off the top of my head, it's what comes to mind. I've always liked Kazarian. He's a Fortune 4 member. I love Fortune 4. And he probably, TNA likes to reward their originals and giving them the world title. So it happened with Eric Young. It never happened with Christopher Daniels. It never happened with Monty Brown. That's besides the point. People that are loyal to TNA, they like to reward a majority of the time. Not AJ Styles. They should have given him a big contract. But, that kind of worked out better for AJ anyways. Regardless, Mike Santana, in my opinion, outside of the Hardys and probably Leon Slater, is the best thing about TNA. And so this whole year-ish journey of him becoming TNA World Champion, you immediately take it away from him. And I find that absolutely ridiculous. A lot of people, I won't even say fans, because I've seen a lot of stupid things happen in TNA history, but a lot of people and fans were saying at Slammiversary is the stupidest thing to not crown him then, and I was like, I think we all know he's going to win at Bound for Glory. I know they are disappointed now. There's definitely just been a lot more stupid things to happen in this company's history, but now you finally had this nice moment with Mike Santana, and you immediately take it away. Now, I can say all this, and they have 3 more shows this weekend. He could end up back with the title, but I just found it absolutely ridiculous that they gave Mike Santana this big moment just to almost, I can't even say immediately take away. He did nothing. He got a chance to do nothing with this title, We don't know what the hell's happening here. I find it ridiculous that they did all this, and it's very LOL TNA. So that is how I spent my Thursday night. And I'm a bit salty about this. I like Kazarian. I'm not mad at Kazarian. I think a lot of people kind of feel that way as well. But it was Mike Santana's time, and y'all are fucking it up. That is the simplest way I could put it. Redeem yourself by the end of this weekend, maybe. If not, I also don't really know the damn direction of TNA. And if this is it, oh boy, we got a long 2026 ahead of us because, we're a month away from 2026, and they anticipate it to be a big year. Besides the point, we're here to talk about ROH. And I remember a long time ago, a fan asked me, hey, could you do Impact reviews? This would have been an all-time. I can't even really say it would have been an all-timer one because I just told you how bored I was by that episode. So, as much as I complain about ROH, which I have not done weekly ROH, I've not done it in a minute. This was a decent episode. And the other thing is, like, TNA, strict 2 hours. ROH, most of the time, is an hour. If it goes over an hour or so, it's because they got a lot. They got at least something worth your time there. Then, but it's quick and to the point. Where TNA, you know you're there for 2 hours. With ROH, quick and to the point, like we were here. So this was a bit of a quicker episode, and let's get right into it with the opening contest, being the Outrunners and Dalton Castle versus Zach Mason, Warren Johnson, and Savage King, who had on a very nice mask. Even though this was a fairly quick matchup, Mason and Magnum start the match off with no code of honor. The matchup dominated by the Outrunners and Castle, who win off of a Castle Bangarang. And Angelico and Serpentico face Hechicero and Rocky Romero next. Another matchup with no code of honor with Angelico and Hechicero starting. I knew I was going to mess it up at some point. Angelico and Hechicero starting. The match had a very technical approach with these two until Hechicero pushes Serpentico off of the top rope and stomp him out. Afterwards, Serpentico is then double-teamed at this point until he tags Angelico back in, who is eventually hit with a Romero dive to the outside while in the ring. Hechicero gives Serpentico a buckle bomb and follows it up with a Cobra clutch with the Don Callis family members picking up the victory. After this, we go backstage for a QTV segment, which officially announces QT Marshall and Big Boom AJ, known as Doom and Boom, or Boom and Doom. They say it so quick that it's QT Marshall and Big Boom AJ. Face Roppongi Vice on the Full Gear pre-show next weekend, and Harley Cameron was there to preview her matchup with Athena on next week's episode of ROH TV, and these are her words, not mine. She is going to beat the shit out of her. So, I don't know if she knows who Athena... She asked to know who Athena is. She's got a pinfall victory over her. This is one-on-one, Harley. I like you. I don't think you're going to be able to accomplish that. So, we'll be tuning into that next week. Now, speaking of Athena, she is in this next matchup. Athena and Billie Starkz versus Hyan and Maya World. I'll also say this. I know what happened on last week's episode. Or did not. Let's put it this way. Did not happen on last week's episode of Collision. It was the hot topic Saturday night and most of the day Sunday. And my whole thoughts on it is, I don't think it matters. It's over and done with. Y'all got till Sunday to get done with and talk about it. I don't want to see any more of this Monday. I saw some, but it wasn't enough to drag the conversation out. So we get into some more Hyan and Maya World as they take on Athena and Billie Starkz right here. Athena and Maya start the match off with Athena attacking after the Code of Honor. Athena argues with Billie when she tags in, which is something that Billie Starkz has done in the past in other tag matches with Athena not being her partner. We learned where Billie picks that up from. And Athena is so mad at her, she chops Billie to tag back in later. We got a high-end Falcon Arrow on Athena. Athena then throws Maya into the barricade on the outside several times. We're going back into the ring. Hits Maya with a facebuster into a Koji clutch to pick up the victory and attack their opponents after the match to send an extra message. So we'll be seeing Athena on next week's ROH against Harley Cameron, as previously announced. Blake Christian and Lee Johnson take on Vin Parker and Will all day next, with Will and Johnson starting the match off. Johnson and Christian dominate the match, including Christian landing an outside splash off of the barricade into both opponents, then going back into the ring to hit a spin kick into a Johnson brainbuster to pick up the victory. Aaron Solo takes on Lance Archer next. Before the matchup even starts, Rocky Romero and Archer are attacking Solo, with Archer dominating the most of the matchup until Solo drop kicks his way out of a choke slam. Rocky trips him at this point, with Archer turning it into a choke slam and a blackout to pick up the victory and send a message to Solo's tag partner, QT Marshall, or friend, acquaintance. Several words could be said there. Mixed tag team matchup up next as the members of the MxM Tv take on the members of Skyflight. Shane Taylor Promotions are watching in the crowd as Top Flight Scorpio Sky said that they wanted a shot at the Ring of Honor six-man tag team championships. Mansoor and Darius Martin start the match off with Layla Gray, Hurricane Rana, Mansoor when she tags in. Johnny TV is pushed into the man area of Scorpio Sky while they're in the ring and the referee's back is turned. Sky is trapped in MxM's corner at this point. Then Layla Gray and Taya Valkyrie are fighting on the outside while everyone in the ring turns their eyes to them fighting out on the outside. After this, they all hit their signature maneuvers until Dante moves out of the way of a Mansoor super kick with Top Flight hitting a double elevated DDT onto Mansoor, picking up the victory, and not being able to celebrate at all as the members of Shane Taylor Promotions attack them after the match, and perfectly leads into our main event matchup, which is a Proven Ground bout, Lee Moriarty taking on Willie Mack. And I will be the asshole to complain about it. I don't think this should have been a Proven Ground bout. I don't think it should have been a Proven Ground bout because Lee Moriarty on last week's episode lost to Commander in the Proven Ground. Commander earned a title shot. I don't think it's been announced. It's definitely not been announced officially for Final Battle, even though it's on the Final Battle Wikipedia. Not the most reliable source, but I kind of, I feel that the actual number one contender should have got a shot before this, but this is a good matchup, so there's at least a positive out of it. So, main event, Proven Ground bout, Lee Moriarty versus Willie Mack. We got a wrist lock by Moriarty that uses Mack's first rope break. We got a flying kick by Mack that gets a 2 count. Moriarty then targets the arm of Mack and applies a Border City stretch that uses Mack's second rope break attempt. Mack is still able to land a massive forearm and a cannonball in the corner, and then follows it up with a standing moonsault that gets a 2 count. He struggles and misses on a top rope maneuver with Moriarty following it up with another Border City stretch. This time around, Mack tapping out as Moriarty picks up the victory and ends the episode with Commander coming out and him, and we're already having a face-to-face standoff. So, a quicker episode of ROH TV. The weeks that AEW TV or pay-per-view was, which we're about to see this back-to-back, the ROH TV, they don't really spoil us. Let's put it that way. Because this week on ROH TV, or AEW TV, we had Blood and Guts, which was a event of its own. I was trying to give it a compliment, but I couldn't think of a proper word for it. But a big event. There, I could say something there. Then, obviously, next weekend, we got a 3-hour Dynamite Collision leading into Full Gear on the weekend. So, we at least know one match for next week's ROH TV episode. What will happen at Final Battle? Time will tell. Can I comment it? Is the match going to end? The match is going to end. Swerve and our glory win. Hooray. So, not much happened on this week's ROH TV, but we're still a couple weeks away from Final Battle. That does not change. So, I appreciate y'all watching. I'll see y'all when I see you, because I'm out for now. Goodbye and all that stuff.